My name is Brian Wako. On behalf of fellow journalists in Uganda, of course, today the entire media fraternity is still mourning and, of course, not and of course against the acts of police of brutalizing not only journalists but almost everybody in the country. Yesterday, as the leader and the mastermind of NUP, a National Unity Platform Party, went ahead to take a letter and inform UN about the brutalities in the country. Fellow journalists were beaten to the extent of so many being hospitalized due to the brutal arrests to many, and others were brutally beaten. So today, as I speak to everybody who is watching this clip, the entire country, through the media representative, they've come up with a simple document. They've designed it very well and they've sent it to the people in charge. Of course, that is the CDF, Chief of Defense Forces, and so many others, including the police. A letter to them is a demand for a free media and independent journalism in Uganda. The letter is like this: demand for a free media as independent journalists in Uganda. We have anonymously decided to take action against acts of brutality by security forces towards journalists on duty, thinking beyond press statements and petitions that have always failed to create any impact. We have decided as follows. Basically, they've taken steps in what they call a simple sit-down strike until the following steps are being taken into consideration. Number one, we're asking the gatekeepers, in brackets the editors. When we are doing our job, we call our editors gatekeepers, to deny space or airtime to any story that is connected to the security organs in Uganda. This simply means that whenever there is space which is free, probably they shouldn't utilize it, in that they publish or air anything related to security in Uganda. That is if they don't come out and apologize. Number two, we call upon the general public to use digital platforms, that is in brackets social media, at their disposal to rebuke police's inhuman treatment of members of the press. Basically, our journalists are calling upon the general public so that in that they can use probably social media and criticize what police and the army are doing to journalists. Number three, we demand a written apology from UPDF and the Ugandan Police Force. Of course, like I said before, they demand a written apology. CDF, General David Mohozi, UPDF, probably through their spokeswoman, that is Flavia Biekwaso, they should come out and probably apologize to journalists in the country. Number four, police must compensate all journalists who have been brutalized and those whose equipment was either destroyed or stolen. Yesterday, as we were watching the news, many journalists were beaten or were brutalized, and then many were hospitalized. But then the umbrella of journalists is saying that police has to compensate all the stolen equipment and probably pay the journalists who were affected negatively in this arrest yesterday. Of course, those include Josephine Namakumbi, working for Next Media Services (NBS), include Cliff Wamala, he works with NTV, Serena, and so many others. Of course, number six, the IGP should no. Number five, we have decided to name and shame security operatives who have made it a tendency to brutalize journalists. I think this is so clear. They are going to start naming and shaming everybody individually, not as a group, not like as the police. When police people are beating up journalists, we identify a few journalists that Josephine Namakumbi has been beaten, but then, of course, the entire journalism sector is being affected. So even in police, we shall not take them as a whole. We shall, according to them, we have decided to name and shame. We shall be naming them. If it is Afande Innocent Tegusura beating up some other people, if it is Afande Innocent Kasigazi, it depends. We shall be naming all of them. Number six, the IGP should retract his irresponsible statement, which encourages officers to better scribes. Then number 7, finally, we encourage individual journalists to stay away from any security-related event, including press conferences. Of course, this letter has been signed by Abubakar Luwawa, one Gabriel Bule, we all remember, and our dear sister Carlton Scovia Nakabia. So all the details are in this document. They've designed and written to the IGP, Inspector General of Police, to UPDF, and so many security agencies in my country, Uganda. Of course, we all have the motto, for God and my country. This is Brian Wako. Keep subscribing, liking, sharing, and commenting on the videos we upload.